Hello there. Welcome to Practical Jenkins. My name is Anirban Saha and I am the author of this course. I have worked in infrastructure management for 8 years with experiences in large data center based infrastructures, private and public cloud infrastructures with specialization in DevOps methodologies and implementations. I have worked with infrastructures of different scale in number of different industries. My passions include speaking at technology conferences such as Linux Foundation events and Puppet camps. I have also authored the book Salt Cookbook and the video course series Extending Puppet published by Pact Publications. In any technology ecosystem, being able to run and work with a tool is not enough when a production environment is in question. We have to be able to make sure that the deployment is suitable to handle workloads and scale as required. To be able to deploy Jenkins in a production-grade environment, we have to make sure that we understand the core concepts and learn to install, configure, and automate the software and its related components. Once this is done, we have to make sure that processes and workflows are in place to manage the tool. High availability for disaster scenarios, backup and restore for management, monitoring for site reliability, and hardening for security are essential tasks to implement. Although robust backend infrastructure can stabilize the software, to harness the true power of Jenkins, we need to use its distributed features and use diverse infrastructure platforms to run builds, which make the workflow much dynamic and efficient. With more and more complex applications being designed and implemented, the development workflow also requires multiple stages of builds and analysis. Jenkins pipeline as a code feature takes this to a complete new level with support for multi-branch pipeline. Once the code is ready, being able to deploy it continuously to target systems is absolutely necessary. Although Jenkins is able to handle most of the functions, the key to implement a truly dynamic development workflow is by integrating Jenkins with external services for various tasks. In this course, we will learn and implement all of the points mentioned here. In the first section, we will look at the installation and configuration of Jenkins and its related components. First, we will learn about Jenkins and its related terminologies. We will then describe the methods of continuous integration, delivery, and deployment. We will install and configure the required dependencies for a Jenkins installation. We will then install Jenkins using different methods. We will then set up a reverse proxy for Jenkins and configure the user interface. We will also learn to automate the Jenkins installation and configuration process. Finally, we will create build job from user interface and the command line. In the second section, we will learn about high availability, monitoring, and management of Jenkins deployments. We will set up multiple Jenkins masters with load balancer for high availability. We will then learn to back up Jenkins data and restore from it. Next, we will monitor Jenkins and its components. We will then implement security procedures for Jenkins. Finally, we will learn to use the Jenkins API and automate plugin management. In the third section, we will look at implementing distributed build architectures and code deployments in Jenkins. We will understand the distributed build architecture, slaves, agent launch methods, and labels in Jenkins. We will then set up a dedicated build slave to run Jenkins builds. We will learn to configure EC2 instances as build slaves in Jenkins. We will also configure Docker containers as build slaves. Next, we will configure Docker slaves on the Kubernetes platform. Finally, we will deploy code from Jenkins to target systems using AWS Code Deploy. In the fourth section, we will learn about understanding and implementing build pipelines. First, we will understand the workflow of jobs and pipelines. We will then explore the Jenkins file and the declarative pipeline syntax. Next, we will create and automate build pipelines. We will then understand and implement multi-branch pipelines. Finally, we will explore the Blue Ocean feature for optimizing pipeline user experience. In the fifth and the final section, we will learn about integrating Jenkins with external services. First, we will integrate Jenkins with GitHub for automating build workflows. We will then integrate with SonarQube for continuous code inspection. Next, we will integrate with Artifactory for managing build artifacts. We will then integrate with Jira for issue management and tracking. Finally, we will integrate with Slack for managing notifications. The basic prerequisites of this course are some idea of Linux systems, a workstation capable of running few virtual machines, the Vagrant and VirtualBox softwares installed on the workstation. Some idea of development workflows is also suggested for the course. As Jenkins mostly supports Groovy scripts, some basic exposure to Groovy will also be helpful. It is to be noted that throughout the course, we have demonstrated the examples by keeping SALinux in the disabled state. Configuring SALinux contexts for the tasks is out of the scope of this course. Keeping SALinux enabled will interfere with the desired results. So let's jump in, learn, and get into a great deal of fun with Jenkins.